This weather pattern is getting stronger, everybody, not only for the severe weather that has been upgraded for chances for strong tornadoes now, also the chances for all these damaging winds, the cold blasts, and the heavy snow that's about to come down as we go through the rest of this week into this weekend, everybody. Now, I have some new updates to show you. We also have alerts out, but before we go real quick, unfortunately, the avalanche that happened yesterday, if you haven't heard, there was a group of about 15 people that has fallen to an avalanche. Now 6 has been rescued. Unfortunately, the other 8 skiers has been reported dead from the avalanche. Everybody, there's still one man that is still missing. So please, prayers for the families of these people, everybody. This is the worst avalanche they have had in almost 50 years. Now, the warnings that we have now, you can see over here for the Ohio Valley, all this gray, also this brown over here going towards the northeast. This is for dense fog advisory, so be aware of the fog while traveling. Plus, you have the red flag warning and all this pink right here for chances for fires again for today. You have the winter weather advisory in the purple and the winter storm warning in the pink. The winter storm warning is expected major snowfall, 6 inches or more. Now, we still have a lot of avalanche warnings over here for Colorado and going into Utah. So please be aware of these avalanches, everybody. It's a very serious thing. They're going from hardly any snow to all of a sudden 6 to 8 feet of snow, so it's very unstable. Everybody takes days for this to pack down before it becomes a safe environment to go on. And you can see all the way across the west, we have the winter weather advisories and the winter storm warnings going on as well. While we have the storms for this morning, we have a lot of rainfall, we have a lot of winds. Matter of fact, you can see over here for the higher elevations over here in Wyoming going towards Colorado, a lot of high winds, but a lot of high snow as well. Look at this. 13 inches have fallen of snowfall. So there's a lot of snow coming down already. There's a little bit over here for the north as well, 2 to 4 inches. But then we're going to have our severe weather event, and we're already getting some strong cells dropping some hail over here in northern Indiana. Now let's start off with the severe weather, since this is our immediate threat, everybody. And you do see there is a marginal over here for California for some severe weather as well. But we do have our enhanced feature for today, and it has upgraded with chances for strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater, significant severe. So here's your cities and states at risk for a potential tornado for today. We also have the wind threat and the hail threat. Now, the wind threat will include Western California as well, but we also have this 15% risk. So here's your cities and states at risk for damaging winds for today, and our hail threat for today for that same storm system. Here's your cities and states at risk for possible hail. So you see the weather pattern for today as we get the storms along the west coast, bringing more heavy snowfall for the higher elevations. We do get some snow building up over here from Nebraska going towards Iowa for today, where we might get frontogenesis and get some stronger banding of snow. While we have our severe weather event for the Ohio Valley, and as we go through later on for tonight, this is going to pivot right towards the Great Lakes, bring heavy snow overnight into the early morning hours for northern Illinois, going through Wisconsin with some freezing rain and sleet mixed with that. Then you can see for tomorrow morning, that group of storms for the severe weather will head towards the northeast, bring you storms, but also bring some sleet, some freezing rain, and it will bring that snow. Now, for the severe weather, you can see with the dew points as we go through the early morning all the way towards lunchtime and a little bit past, that we get some low 50 dew points raising further towards the north. Then once we go later into the evening, it turns into that southern event that I showed you yesterday, still showing that true. We're going to lose our instability to the north, and it's going to stay right down here on the southern side as we go later into the evening for southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and portions of Kentucky as we go later in the evening for chances for your severe weather. And you can see this with your cape, with your instability, your food for your thunderstorms. As you go through the evening all the way towards lunchtime and 1 p.m., you have a lot of strong instability. This is a stronger signal than we had yesterday, showing that it will feed these thunderstorms all afternoon long. But once you hit around 6 or 7 p.m., you lose your instability to the north. Whatever you do have will be regular thunderstorms, while you still have a chance over here for southern Illinois, southern Indiana, going through Kentucky for more severe weather. So as we go through the afternoon, you can see our strong chance for storms coming through, even a couple of strong cells. Showing over here for northern Indiana, coming from southern Illinois, going towards central Illinois. Chances for strong storms. These cells right here, I'm not going to lie, look like this could be a potential strong tornado if that verifies right there. That is a lot of high red and pink color for your precipitation. Also is bringing strong winds with that, everybody. And when you look with your cape, with your lift, we still have a lot of instability to feed on those cells. But once we go through the evening, once this moves a little bit further towards the east with that strong cell that's right on the edge from Illinois going towards southern Indiana, that could be a long track tornado. You need to pay attention to this. This is a very strong storm that is showing for today. While you could get more strong storms coming through from northern Kentucky, passing through northeastern Kentucky. But if you take a look at your instability, now your instability is staying southern. So now it's starting to lose its oomph once you go around 6 p.m. and beyond. So you still have instability for strong storms over here along the southern side. Not showing a lot of cells producing. These over here on the northern side will just be regular thunderstorms passing by at that point. And then that's where we get the banding from the heavy snow coming from Iowa and shifting overnight to early morning hours for Wisconsin and northern Illinois. So as you go through for Friday, you can see thunderstorms in any of this green area. It will just be regular thunderstorms, not showing a threat for tornadoes or wind. This will be chances for hail for Friday, also for Saturday. So here's your cities and states at risk for a hail threat for Friday. Also for Saturday, we have a 5% chance for severe weather. Here's your cities and states at risk for this. And once again, this will be for chances for small hail. Then after these storms go by for tomorrow, going by Pennsylvania, Northern Virginia, Maryland, a lot of storms, freezing rain, sleet, and snow, as well as that goes towards New Jersey, New York, and then towards the northeast, bringing that freezing rain, that sleet, and that snow mix with it. But showing the snow is going to add up, and it is bringing major snows. That's why you got the winter storm warning, 6 inches or greater. Plus over here for New England, bringing anywhere from 3 to 5 inches in the blue, but 6, 7, or 8 inches in the higher elevations of upstate New York, Vermont, or New Hampshire. Now this is also bringing a mix. So this right here is sleet, potentially an inch of sleet could add up, and is bringing some freezing rain with this as well. So be aware of your travels. Now, as the storm system is hitting for tomorrow, we have that other storm, that third system still coming, hitting across the Four Corners for Friday, coming across the South Central and the Mid-Mississippi Valley as you go through for overnight Saturday into Sunday. Still showing it's not going to do much, maybe a little bit of mix, not much. But once it comes towards the northeast, this is where you get that low pressure building. Now, this low pressure will turn further towards the northeast or ride a little bit closer up the coast, showing that it is still the more than likely outcome. Now, GFS still takes it as you get bombogenesis, a strengthening low pressure, and it still brings a strong nor'easter right there. Now, when you go by the Euro takes it where it's still a little bit offshore, everybody, and it strengthens further away. Still bringing some snow. You're still going to see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, 2 to 5, but not showing that foot or two. So look here with the Canadian. The Canadian is showing that low pressure is forming, kind of strong right there, but look how it pulls away like the Euro is showing. So showing with the Canadian, you can also see with the GFS, it takes it closer towards the coast, and the Canadian takes it a little bit further away. And then when you go to Euro, the Euro takes it way further away before it even strengthens. I'm going to show you the ensembles because the snowfall is just crazy, bringing more heavy snow over here for Washington, Oregon, higher elevations in California, also for the Four Corners and for the Northwest. Then you get that 3 to 5 incher coming across all the way from Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, then it intensifies, bringing heavier snow for eastern Iowa going through Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. Then when it comes towards the northeast, look how it's bringing 1 to 2 feet of snow. Now when you go by the Canadian, it's agreeing to everything else, and it's agreeing that this storm is going to eventually strengthen up and move away, but not showing that big bombing that you're seeing with the GFS. And when you look with the Euro, it's showing even further away. You will see some snow, but it'll bring a little bit of a warmer scenario and intensify later on. This is actually the trend in the ensembles. So this will include the winds as well. So look at the difference. You have the GFS bringing that tight wind gradient all the way towards the coast. The Canadian, which is seeing the strengthening, but it pushes it further away, which is the trend. Look at the Euro. Also pushes that away. So let's look at the ensembles and see what the more than likely outcome is. Everybody, you can see right here with the GFS. The GFS is showing this very strong storm. You might even see it a couple of times to a few times in these ensembles. So you can see 4 of them, maybe even 5, 6 right there. This one's pretty much offshore. So you're seeing 6, maybe 7 of them out of 30, everybody. So that you literally have a 25 to a 30% happening of that big bombogenesis that you see with the GFS. Look at the rest of these. Agreeing with what the Euro is showing. This will more likely strengthen offshore. You will see some snowfall. You can see this one right here. And you see how it strengthens right offshore. Barely missing. This right here would be a good snowstorm, bringing anywhere from 5 to 7 inches. And some of these show it could strengthen right here towards the mid-Atlantic and then weaken down. You see this? Showing it will bring some snow. Look at this. But a lot of these show it will barely miss. You see that? Showing it will barely miss on that strong storm. So it is trending. So when you go by the Canadian, look at the Canadian models. The Canadian model also shows a few of these, showing that strong bombogenesis over there in the northeast, but we're only seeing 3 or 4 of them. The rest of them is showing what the Euro is showing, that it's not going to bring a lot of snow. You see this, everybody. This is all over the place. Once again, you got to remember, even though I know people want this snow, this gets hyped up like crazy. If this was hurricane season and I showed you a big hurricane coming towards the Gulf, but the Canadian and the Euro did not agree, would you still believe the GFS? And the last ensemble I have for you is the Euro. And you can see with the Euro, trending, you will get snow. You will get anywhere from 2 to 4, 2 to 5 inches. Maybe in some places might even get 6. But look how it strengthens offshore in the majority of these, everybody. Showing you could get a nice little 3 to 4, 3 to 5 incher, but not showing that 1 to 2 feet like you see with the GFS. You literally see 2 or 3 of these showing that. The rest of them showing that it will be a big miss, or you'll get this right here, which is more than likely your outcome if you ask my opinion. Still get that 2 to 4, 2 to 6 incher. Higher elevations of Pennsylvania and New England could get anywhere from 7 to 8. That is possible. But that strengthening low pressure right there across the I-95 corridor, I am not believing. I am not sold on that yet, everybody. Look at the other 25 with the Euro. You can see the same outcome. So we have something strengthening offshore. It could hit towards New England. That's believable. We've seen that high pitch. We see one here, and we see another one here. The rest of these show you could get some snow, but it could be a dry spell as well. You see this? Look at these ensembles. Now, in case you're wondering, these ensembles puts a little bit of change in the data for each single one. That way we can see the possible scenario. More precipitation, less precipitation, more cold air, a higher ridge, a strengthening low pressure, all the different scenarios. So it's not like the Euro is going crazy. Euro has 50 members. It actually has the best chance to be the best accurate model there is. And that's why when you go to any place to use weather models, you actually have to pay to use the Euro. The GFS is always free. And the update on our weather pattern after this. Remember I told you about a week ago, winter just got a lot longer. I have a new update for you. You can see here with your Arctic oscillation, your AO, as we have this cold blast coming through all the way towards the 22nd and the 23rd. This is still sitting there. This is still coming all the way towards the southeast. Then it's going to retract back, showing the cold air is still coming back as we go through the end of February, the very beginning of March. Now, this red one all by itself, you figured it out. This is GFS, taking it bigger and stronger. The Euro is showing this will stay further towards the north, somewhere around the mid-Mississippi Valley, towards the Ohio Valley. And you see with the AI, the Euro AI, it's just not believing in it at all. So when we look at our NAO, our North Atlantic oscillation, when we have a blocking pattern in the Atlantic, it brings this cold air further towards the southern and the eastern U.S. Look as we go through that period, everybody. It is not a strong negative NAO. Only the GFS is taking that towards a strong negative NAO. We have the Euro AI, even the Canadian, all of them are showing this will be a positive phase. So this will be further towards the north into the U.S. This will not be another deep snowstorm towards the south. So you can see this when you look at your temperature anomaly. As we go through for tomorrow into Saturday, this is where it pulls down the colder temperatures. And especially for Sunday evening, this is where it goes right towards the southeast, where you're actually going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below average for this time of year. Remember the temperatures I showed you. This is not bringing freezing temperatures all the way towards Florida. It's just below average. And look how it does stretch all the way towards the Yucatan, Cuba, also Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, bringing below average temperatures as you go through from Monday into Tuesday, and that pushes offshore. Then we have that blast that's coming right afterwards. Look how this stays further towards the north. It could do a little spell where we get a deep trough, where you could get a trough and going towards a higher ridge like this, bringing some below average temperatures over here towards the south central. Now we're talking about the beginning of March. This is not going to be freezing temperatures, but this is where you're not going to be in the 80s. You could be in the 60s. So that's the difference. But you see where it stays further towards the north on that colder blast. And you see that with the data, everybody. That's also where we could see more snowstorms coming across. And you see how that stays further towards the north. Now, I know this video is getting a little long, but I want to go through what the potential impacts are on the severe weather for today. See the cities that these cells are potentially forming up into, everybody. So you can see with the latest run with HRRR, as we go through the evening, remember this is Central Time up here on top, that we start getting some strong cells pushing through, even bringing some strong hail cores with them. And this one right here showing up around southern Illinois is a bit concerning. Not only the intensity, the atmosphere that is going into, is bringing a strong hail core with it, which means that it is a strengthening storm right there as that comes across potentially for 2 o'clock this afternoon. So if you're in this region, anywhere into this enhanced risk right here, this is where this cell is potentially forming across. Showing you could get some strong cells over here by Louisville, Kentucky, but this really strong one over here as it goes by Effingham towards Robinson. Look at this. Strong hail core signature on that as you pass by from 2 to 3 o'clock, going further east into Indiana. By 4 o'clock, a big hail core on that. Look at the size of the hail core on that cell right there. This could be a long track tornado that this model is seeing, everybody. Showing a strong cell. So please be aware if you're in Effingham, all the way towards Robinson, all the way towards Bedford and Bloomington, going east into Indiana. Be aware of this strong cell. This cell is a bit concerning. The atmosphere, like I said, is ripe for that. And that is right in the area where we could get a strong tornado, an EF2 or greater. So just in general, if you are in this enhanced feature right here, keep your eyes glued to the weather. And remember, everybody, do not put your trust in man. Put your trust in God. Man has an agenda, and they always hype every little thing up. Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yes, I will help thee. Yes, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Amen. I might see you this afternoon for a quick update on what's going on with the weather pattern and this potential snowstorm. Everybody, remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. Check on your neighbors.